Chef Pennington here. Today we're doing fig shortbread tart. Really delicious, really fun. It's sugar, flour, and butter. But it's the way that we put it together, it makes it special here. And who doesn't love a tart? And we're going to make a no-bake cheese cream filling, which is really simple and delicious and not too sweet. Figs are sweet. The riper they get, the sweeter they get. So that's something to think about when you're planning on using your figs and whenever you buy them. I suggest buying them a few days ahead of time. They'll soften up for you, get a little sweeter. Essentially denaturing is what it is. So we've got our really high quality butter in there, and we're adding our confectioner sugar, powdered sugar, or 10x sugar. Use high quality vanilla, always makes a really big difference. Really, when we're baking, it seems like vanilla always makes its way in there a little bit, and it does do its job. It's there for good reason. So always scrape down your sides, make sure everything's getting combined really nicely. We're gonna use some cornstarch, which is gonna help make our crust a little bit flaky, which is great. Brown sugar, just to round out the flavor. You won't really notice it as far as the color goes, but it's more depth of flavor. There's molasses in there. Mix everybody together and start getting in the bowl. Once I get started here, I like to turn the bowl so that the weight of the flour actually comes down on itself, and that's how it gets into the bowl instead of just tapping it and banging it. We're going to bring everything together. And there we go, guys. We have our tart dough. So once we pull this together, you could stop there and cut it out, and you'll have something very similar to an Italian biscotti. But you need to add almonds for it to be a biscotti. Pretty cool. So you want to work it a little bit just to make sure everything comes together. There's cracks and seams in there that we don't want, so it needs to be kneaded just a little bit. You don't want to leave it out too long because there's a good bit of butter in there. So it's just an example how you can cut it, because it will once expand in the oven on you. Alright, it's a little bit different of a springform pan. It's a silicone. You don't have to use all the dough here. You can use however much you want. Depends on how thick you want your crust to be. I just went ahead and used all of it because I wanted to see what would happen, and it turned out really good. So just work it into all the cracks and crevices. Want it to look nice once we take it out of the spring form, everything to be equal as far as the height of the crust on the outside. And then once it's like the way you want it, shave off the sides so it'll be nice and smooth. It'll look nice once you're plating it. And then we're going to be straight in the oven. We're going to be 350 for about 20 minutes or so. You're going to want to keep looking at it, but every 5 minutes, pop in there with a fork, and you're going to want to press down because of the air. It's going to try to puff up on you a little bit. But just keep poking and it'll be no problem. It only takes about 20 minutes, like I said, till it's done. Then let it cool down before you start doing anything else. It's a nice little close up there so you can see what it looks like. No bake cheese filling. So our cheese is going to be cream cheese. We love cream cheese. So it's 2 8-ounce packets. And here's our sweet condensed milk. Instead of using regular sugar, this is just a little softer sweetness instead of just big sweet in your face. You'll really enjoy it. Lemon juice just to wake everything up. And I'm honored to have some family honey. We had a family reunion recently and was lucky enough to get some of it. Raw honey is really good for you. Lots of healthy elements in there. They're saying honey is going to be the multivitamin. Once the end of the world comes, we'll be using delicious honey. There's so much goodness in there. So once again, we're going to scrape down the sides to make sure everything's getting incorporated nicely. And we're almost done, folks. So use as little or as much as you like. Let's get it smooth. Try to make it look even around the edges. And then it's fig time. You could do this any way you like. I was just kind of going with it. I wanted a nice fig in the middle to give it that kind of flour feel. So I'm just cutting through, not all the way, just to the base. And then putting that right there in the middle. Really pretty colors. Figs are really nice and they're really good. If you haven't tried one, this is a good recipe to start out with. Also doing a bacon wrapped fig recipe. It'll be on the website too. And also a burrata carpaccio fig dish, which sounds fancy but super easy to do. There we go, guys. We've got a beautiful tart. Please join us on social media. The links will be below. And y'all have a great one. Take care.